Welcome back, YouTubers, to another ROH Wrestling review with us, the British Fist. Now, before we do this, MJ, I've got a special thing for you today because I'm ill and I don't want to give you my illness. So, it's British Fist.
Ka-ching.
I'm sorry about that. I just don't want to give you my illness. That's all. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this ROH review or ROH Wrestling show down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
That was actually quite cool. I like that. Anyway, so ROH. So last week we had the main event of Jay Lethal versus El Generico. We got a nice little recap of that this week. From what I remember, that match was a very good main event, so I didn't mind seeing it again. It
was a good main event, but I normally think, just like WWE, they normally show a footage or something that's going to follow on to this week. Like they have a rivalry that was flowing on from one week to another week. So showing this, it was a good match and all, but it didn't really follow on to this week.
I just enjoyed seeing it again because I thought it was good, so that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
And I think when you do follow on from the show, you know, it's always nice to see something of what happened last week. Even though I agree with you, it didn't really flow onto the show very much. But let's get on to the opener then. In the opener, we had Jim Cornette introducing the Briscoe Brothers. The problem I have with this segment is that I know this was taped 6 weeks before Death of Dishonor, but All Night Express are the #1 contenders, and Briscoes are talking about going after the #1 contendership, and this whole thing is to set up a match between Briscoes and All Night Express for the #1 contendership, which has already happened at their last iPay-per-view, and it's just like, huh? For new viewers, it might be good, but for people that have seen the iPay-per-views, it's not very consistent, is it? That's the problem.
No, and the other problem I had with it was, again, the first part going to the first match took time.
The sound was off as well for me.
I understand. I just thought build up to the first match was just slow.
Yeah.
Just not a good
flow. It also annoys me a little bit how Jim Cornette says they're not going to get a title shot, and all of a sudden they're in a #1 contendership match next week, I think it is. So that's all to announce the main, I believe what will be the main event next week between the Briscoes and the All Night Express, even though it's already fucking happened at Ladder War 3, which kind of renders that match a bit pointless, really, doesn't it?
It does indeed. It does.
But anyway, what are your overall thoughts on this opener?
Apart from being slow and a bit dragged on to the first match, they had their positive points. They did have their time on mic and intro time, so I guess it was effective for their standpoint. But
I like the fact that they announced the main event left for next week. What I will say though is I still don't understand why Davey Richards hasn't had an opening segment with ROH, seeing as he is kind of the champion. It seems like ROH are really focusing on their tag team division, and while I like that, I do feel that the face of your company, i.e. your world champ, needs to be involved in one of these opening segments one of these days, and not just be in a match, which hasn't really, in my opinion, had enough hype for it, considering it's a world title match.
Well, with the TV shows just starting a while back, the fact that the champ has not, as you said, appeared
in a segment
in 3 weeks, I think that's pretty bad because he is the big guy in ROH.
Exactly.
He's the guy that everyone looks up to because he's the champ.
Exactly, he's the top dog. So you need to really. Yeah. I mean, I thought they should have done it on the first show. While I didn't mind Nigel McGuinness getting the spotlight in the, I really think they should have opened the first show, but that's another argument for another day. Let's move on to the video package, which we got next, which was focus on Tommaso Ciampa, the man from Sicily, Italy. Has a bit of a ring to it, doesn't it? The undefeated Italian. Your thoughts?
Again, with this, as I'm still getting into ROH, this was good and needed to explain who he is and about his undefeated streak and how he was built on that. But at the same time, as I was watching it, as I was learning, it still was a little bit long, in my opinion.
These video segments tend to be very long, and that's one thing I don't like. But from a personal standpoint, Tommaso Ciampa is a guy that I did kind of want to know a bit more about because he seems like one of those guys that can really sort of come into ROH a bit more, even though he's very green in the ring at the moment, which is probably why they made him dominate Andy Ridge. I still kind of wanted to get more into this guy, and they had Tommaso Ciampa, Prince Nana, Jim Cornette introducing his character, like you said, and what they did as well, they introduced his purpose, which is to serve the embassy.
Okay.
So not winning any titles then or anything, but you know, I thought it was good for what it was. It introduces the character for the next match. So, any more thoughts?
Again, apart from the length, it does flow nicely onto the first match.
Yes, which was Andy Right Leg Ridge, who we saw in the dark match at Death Before Dishonor 9, versus Tommaso Ciampa, the undefeated Italian, and pretty much what we expect here happened, didn't it? It lasted about 5 minutes. You had him dominating.
A dominant match, proving that his undefeated streak's going to continue, and it was just an okay match. But again, for an opener, I did expect more of a flowing match, like more action, but it did its purpose.
As ROH have 2 matches, I'm not really sure you can always expect like a great opener, if you know what I mean, because they've only got 2 matches to really put on, and they've only got so much to do. But I think the match really served its purpose as to sort of showing this dominant guy in Ring of Honor, this new guy. And it was very simply done, wasn't it? In fact, that you just had Tommaso Ciampa dominate this guy for 5 minutes and then hit his what I thought was a fantastic finisher on Andy Rich to get the victory.
The pulling down the knee band and just kneeing him in the head and then the finish. It was a nice finish.
The one problem I have with this though is the crowd were a little bit dead, and I think this is a result of the long hours of taping that ROH did. The crowd did seem a little bit dead for this match. They warmed up for the main event, but for this match they were a little bit
Well, again, as much as I agree the crowd was dead, with the crowd being dead, you actually heard the commentary more, and it actually built more into the match, so I was okay with it.
You heard a bit more of Desmond Wolf's fantastic colour commentary, talking about Tommaso Ciampa. I'm not doing very well, but I've got blocked nose, but there we go. So, all right, next segment. The next half of the show really pretty much focused on the main event, didn't it? The main event was that was announced last week. Not very well enough, in my opinion, but Davey Richards versus Roderick Strong for the ROH World Championship was announced last week, and we got an inside ROH video package basically showing, which I thought was good, why they were rivalry, and it established a clear heel and face, which I know it sounds simple, but it's still important in a match like this to newer fans. Who's the heel and who's the face? Your thoughts on this video package?
Again, it's just how I feel. The length was a bit long, and I was thinking it had its good points, so I guess the length was okay, because what was said in the video actually made the next match better than what it was.
Yeah, and I like the fact they're showing why they're rivaling. I just don't like Strong on the mic. I'd do it for the girls. I'd do it for popularity. I'd do it for this. Just like, my God.
Shut up!
Yeah, pretty much. It shows how they have different reasons for winning the ROH World title. Davey Richards' reasons are more centered around the family loss and how it's his only connection to his family, to his dead grandma and grandpa, which we saw at ROH Best in the World. Remember when he said, this one's for you, Grandpa? So, people that are familiar with that will understand that. And Roderick Strong just wants to do it for the girls and the money. So, yeah.
So, it follows on nicely to the main event.
Yes, which was the ROH World Championship match between Roderick Strong and Davey Richards. What did you think of this match, MJ?
This had, again, what I like about ROH, it had its good spots. It had loads of spots that you thought, oh, that was a good move, that was a good moment. And it just built up the match quite nicely. Yep. And as the match went on, the length was good. I think for a main event, for a championship match, the length was great. Yeah,
I think this match pretty much delivered what I personally expected from the two. It was a good match, lasted 20 minutes. And it's nice to see matches like this last a long time, especially when the World Championship is on the line. I think we saw the TV Championship match last week, last 20 minutes. And I do feel that ROH do put a lot of emphasis on the importance to their titles, even though they don't have a consistent TV show to show them on. Just the way the match went.
That is a problem, but the thing about this match is that it could have gone either way. Even though we knew he was going to win by just looking at it logically, but it could have gone either way because they both put on great moves and numerous, almost 3 counts. So it's a good match. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I would say this though. ROH only have 3 guys in the main event scene. I'd really like them to switch it up a little bit. This is one of the problems with ROH and one of the reasons why ROH spots get on my freaking nerves. Because they talk about having a WWE having a stale main event scene. Well, you've only got 3. And, you know what I mean? And they complain about WWE being stale, but they don't complain when ROH has only got 3 main eventers.
Well, when they chase for the TNA ROH Championship, there is only 3 competitors. But the good thing about ROH, we'll say this,
always good wrestling.
Their main event is not always about their championship. Sometimes they have the tag team to the main event. And I think in that aspect it's good, but you do need more challenges going for the championship.
And also, I wonder, it's great to have good wrestling on a TV show, but also, you save your best wrestling for your pay-per-views. And to me, like sometimes the matches on a TV show can't be. I mean, this is a great match. Don't get me wrong, but if this is on an pay-per-view, I would have loved it. I do feel sometimes with TV shows, your matches can't be great. You need to save that for the pay-per-view. It's a little complaint, but it's just something I want to put out there.
Well, in ROH's eyes, I think the reason they put big matches on is to get ratings on their TV shows, just so people are still watching it, still interested. So, in their respect, I think they've done okay with this.
Maybe I'm just being too picky. Who knows? Maybe I'm just too much of a smark now. But who knows? Richards won the match, which we kind of expected, as Richards is the world champ. Again, I'd love to see him featured a bit more on in the in-ring segments, but that's just my opinion, and NJ's too. The show finished really quickly though, didn't it? After the match, it's a bit disappointing.
You don't get to see the champ actually celebrate or anything. He just quickly went.
And that is one of the things. That's one of the reasons you buy. That's one of the ways you buy into these guys' characters. You watch them celebrate and see how much it means to them. I just didn't like the way the show just went, finished, and then it was just did not work for me the way the show finished. And then they said at the end, we've got a double main event next week, and it's like, but what? Tell us, please. At least that would be nice. I mean, I know what they are. I've read the spoilers, but at least they should tell us.
Yeah, at the end of the match, you get this little dialogue down here saying there's going to be 2 big main events. And again, as nice that is, because it's getting people to think, oh, I can't wait till next week. They've got 2 going. But at the same time, announce them like they've done in the past would have been a good idea.
Yep. So we've got our traditional 25 minutes of wrestling, 2 video packages, an opening segment with a tag team in it, which would. But what are your just give me your overall thoughts on the show, and then we'll go from there. Like what you thought of it this week.
Apart from the slow video packages, the 2 wrestling matches we got, they were effective, they made sense, and they're both quite good matches.
Yeah. I like these TV shows a lot, and trust me, I really do enjoy these TV shows. Seeing ROH on TV is something I look forward to every week. I just don't like the lack of consistency from the right pay-per-views, and this is one of the problems when you. This is one of the problems when you record 6 weeks before you've had your iPay-per-view, and there's so much lack of consistency. And I really wish ROH will be consistent in their build up to glory by Honor 10. I'm not sure they will though, but
because now we're getting close to the build up to the pay-per-view.
Yes.
I think they need to start focusing on the matches and the build, which I'm hoping they do as time gets closer.
It'll be difficult for them because. It'll be difficult for them because they've only got so much time to show different people. One thing I did forget to mention, Steve Corino was on commentary for the Tommaso Ciampa match. I think it looks like they're going to set something up there. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Maybe they will. I'm still new to this, but it'll be good to see more involvement.
Yeah. So overall thoughts, decent show, just video packages again.
Video packages and, as we said, the little nitpicks, but yeah.
Yeah, okay then. Give us your thoughts on ROH down below. What do you think of the TV show? We thought it was decent this week, so
all I can say now is tune in for next ROH review, which will be next week, obviously. And that has been it from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Goodbye.